guys, and welcome to my review of Shokugeki no Soma 176 it is, Mischief on a Snowy Day. And we start off with Soma and Megumi and Hisako and Takumi, whom I'm presuming is sleeping beneath in the hammock beneath Soma. And yeah, quiet time, and they arrive in a city called Sapporo, where they are supposed to have their second exam or test. And apparently this place is famed for its many different noodles because there's so much land. They can make different noodles and they have their own farms and stuff. It's not really important, but the important thing is that this test will be noodle themed and it will be individual. And I think the fact that this test is individual is going to be important later. But either way, they have 3 hours to make this one noodle dish. And because the room or the place that they are at, they only have like the bare minimums of ingredients. They all have to go out to town and find their own ingredients. But they do so in like different teams, so like A team goes first and then they have like the people waiting. And in the very last group, we have Soma and the other rebels, so the LDD brothers and Megumi and all of these people. So, they have to wait till last. And when they go out, as I said in my last review / rant, which a lot of people didn't really like, but I said that the obstacle for the rebels would probably be a snowstorm. I said that they would be snowed in so that they wouldn't be able to get out and get the ingredients, but a blizzard is basically the same because they still can't get out of the building because all the taxis that they need to get into town, they won't be able to make it because of all the snow, so they have to wait for like the snowplows to get there, and they don't have time for that shit. So they have to find another way to make these noodles that they don't have for the rebels, because as they were the last group, they have made sure to have just enough noodles for everyone but the rebels. So they are pretty much screwed, or so the examiners think, because for some magical reason they start cooking anyway and they get really confused, and of course we don't get an answer to this chapter, but that's not really important. What I noticed in this chapter, and as I said before, the exam this time is individual. Last time it was a group test with 5 people in a group. But this time it's individual, yet it seems like these people are helping each other because Soma is talking to Takumi about ingredients that they both need and that Megumi needs some of, and I think even though they might be cooking on their own, I think the examiners might be like, don't speak to each other, just do your own thing. You can't share ingredients, you can't do anything, because it seems like they're helping each other, and that's kind of what you do in like a group exam. So I think this might be somehow not like working against them, but this, because they can't cook the dish, they might fail or try to make them fail because they didn't do it by themselves. They shared ingredients, they shared tips, they shared conversation. It's kind of like back in the training camp, the first training camp that they had, where Shinomiya expelled 2 students because they had a 2-line conversation. There wasn't really much else going on in the chapter. We had like a short flashback of when Irina and Hisako were teaching all of the Polar Star members plus a few others about Hokkaido cuisine, but we've already seen that, so it's not really that important or new information. It's just re-informs us that the Polar Star Dorm are ready to take whatever obstacles that Central has to throw at their faces. So yeah, I really want though for the lectures not to like be everything, so that Irina just didn't teach them everything that they like, so that they don't pass through all the exams with the information that Irina gave them. I want there to be some kind of obstacle. I read it about this last review. I'm not gonna do that one more time because I feel like this chapter set up more complications because of the way they tried to execute the test. So I feel like this chapter, whether this chapter was good or not, kind of rides on the next chapter. It was more enjoyable than last week's, definitely, but it still lacks the Soma hype that other chapters before this arc has made me feel. So I'm glad that Takumi is back in action though. I think that was one of the most enjoyable moments for me, was Takumi being there, because he's my favorite character. And I like him, and I think his interactions with Soma is funny. I feel the scene they had where they just went outside in their coats and there was just a blizzard, and Soma just goes, well, let's do rock, paper, scissors, and Takumi's just like, what? You can't just what? That was a good moment. I laughed. So yeah. Yeah, that was basically what I had to say. Not much happened, but I feel like we had some good setup for next chapter if they do the individuality thing wrong. So yeah. Leave a like if you liked anything that I had to say. Leave a comment below what you think of this chapter and what you think of the arc in general. I didn't get so many comments last time, just a lot of thumbs down because people didn't like that I didn't like it, I suppose. But yeah, I really want to know what other people think of this arc because, as I said, so far this arc is not so great start. But yeah, comment, please. I want to know people's thoughts. And subscribe if you want to see more of me, I guess. I do reviews of Haikyuu and One Piece too, so if you're into those, subscribe. And bye!